Diane in Denmark here, and I'm back once again doing a little declutter session in our basement. Now, if you missed the last couple of videos, the story about this basement declutter is that we're having a new heating system put in. This wall is coming down probably tomorrow, and the men will need access to our gas boiler, which is down there, and the pipes up above. So the company, they told us that we need to move at least this one out of the way, but I'm taking the chance to do a declutter down here in the basement because I know what's in these boxes, but you know what it's like when we have a chance to go around again, we can let go of some more, and I've already managed to get rid of tons of stuff so far. So my object today is to finish off this shelf and at least get it out of the way so we can get the wall down, because part of the wall has already come down, so that can go. Anyway, I've done this shelf, this one. You can maybe just see the top of this one. The very bottom one, that was all the Donald Duck magazines. I kept a few, and I kept the books because they're there with the kids' stuff. But Vibeke took the rest. Hooray! Lucky Vibeke. So anyway, I'm going to work on the next one, and as usual, I've got the timer going, and I can't spend much time on this today because the kids will be arriving, you know, the teenagers, for the party, and we're going out to dinner. But I thought I could maybe at least do 10 minutes down here. So first thing I'm going to grab is one that I've been putting off. I'm actually not sure what is in here, but it is it was one of these things that you can put onto the shelf to have extra space. Okay, mixed bag here. I'm just trying to see if there's anything personal in it before I put it in the camera. You know that I never show you like the kids' rooms or mention the kids' names, stuff like that. I try and keep some things private and give them a bit of privacy. Right, what is this? This is a bit of dust down here. A telephone, or a box, and a telephone that was one of my daughter's very first telephones. Okay, well that one, I'm looking into that because I'm sure there's some kind of charity that will take old telephones. And you know how it is, or you know how it is, at least for me, we get a new telephone and I keep the old one thinking, well, if something happens to the other one, then we've got a backup. Anyway, so that's one of those. And I don't know why it's in here because I actually got telephones somewhere else. I do keep a couple of telephones just if something happens like that, especially like my DS18, my dear son 18. He's going to the Roskilde music festival. I don't know if you've heard of Roskilde. It's a huge, one of the biggest ones in Europe. He's going to that this year, you know, and they camp there for a week. And he won't be taking his good telephone. He'll be taking an old telephone with his SIM card because it'll either get, it won't get stolen, but it will get trampled or it will get covered in mud. So it's actually useful to have a couple of backup telephones. Right, and this is more telephone. Oh my goodness, this is a really old one. And you know what, I've put them in here thinking, oh well, I'll just, and then I've completely forgotten that I had them in here. Okay, this is also telephone stuff. At least I had the good sense to put into an IKEA bag. And this is, oh look at that. Here's a blast from the past. Do you remember those ones? The ones that you'd push up, the Nokia ones? And I thought I was so fancy with this telephone. This was like before the days of smartphones. I think it could take photos. And if I remember correctly, this was the very first telephone that I got that was kind of like a fancy phone. And it was when my DS18, when I was pregnant with him, in case I needed to get in touch with my husband, who was away travelling a lot. And so that is, should I hang on to it? No, I don't think I need to do that. But it is quite fun. I might keep it put in a keepsake box just because it's fun gadget. Like I can take and show my grandchildren. Oh my goodness, this is how small telephones were. So anyway, that's a keeper. But I don't need all the, you know, all the instruction manual, stuff like that. That can go out. Oh my goodness, here's another one. And another Nokia. This looks like one of my son's first telephone. Okay, so that one is a giveaway. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a charity that will take them and they can get some money for them. That's just a plastic bag. That goes in plastic recycling. Okay, these over-the-door things, you know, for when you've got guests. We've actually improved things in our guest room, so I don't actually need these anymore. So these are going to be a giveaway to the charity shop. And this is the lid of a box that I have in the bathroom. I'll put that back up in the bathroom because I'm also going to be decluttering the bathroom. So that's a keeper. Oh, and these are actually really good because I was looking for more of these the other day. These are the dividers, you know, that go in any kind of drawers, and I keep things like my socks and my unmentionables, you know, so that's good because I love being able to have things, you know, by category. It makes it much easier, and that way I don't have too many of the same thing. Right, so those are a keeper. So that's quite good. So those are being moved from here. And this basket, I'll keep it for the moment. I'm not sure if I'll need it for something. Right, on to the next one. And this is a box of office. Can you see that? A box of office supplies. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to go through this at the weekend because we've got some office supplies upstairs. The kids have got things, and I think we'll go through it together and we'll put together all the office supplies and see what we need to keep. But we've got so many sets of post-it notes. I mean, we could live the next 100 years and still have post-it notes. So that's what I'm going to do with this box. I'm going to go through this with the kids at the weekend, and we will put all our office supplies together because when the kids were smaller, they used a lot at school. Now they're, you know, my son's at high school, my daughter's in the last year of normal school. They don't use so much, so I'm sure we can get rid of a lot of these things like pencil cases, you know, South Park pencil case. I don't think you'll want that anymore. Oh, and here's one of my daughter's ones with a wee doggy on it. So I'll tell you what, that is going to go upstairs and we'll go through that together. So that's all right. And how many office supplies do you have? Because, I mean, you might have like 3 boxes, or you might have just like one desk drawer full. This was all extra stuff, and oh, yeah, elastic bands and things like that. Okay, so that's good to go through that, but I'll do that with the kids. Right, okay, only 3 things left on the shelf, and then maybe I can even move this at the end of the 15 minutes. Right, these things are, this is a box for my son, and I have the same thing, a box for my daughter. Now I won't open it up and show you what's in it. I'll tell you what's in it because as I said, I like to keep some things private. And in these boxes, they've got one each, and since they were a baby, I have been putting things in there, you know, things from school and my son's confirmation and, you know, the usual swimming certificates. And in my son's one, he's got a driver's license, which always makes me laugh because it's from school when they were at sewing class. You know, when they're about, I think about 9 or 10, when they're in school in Denmark. And they come home and it says, this driver's license has been issued by Singer, you know, the sewing machine people. And, you know, you have passed the test, because they get this test where it's like a piece of paper and they have to sew a straight line and a curved line and do a thing with a seam. So all the kids in Denmark, they get this little driving license for the sewing machine. So anyway, I keep things in one of these boxes. It's a sturdy IKEA one. Not things like, you know, their first, you know, toys that they used to go to sleep with. These are all, you know, school books and stuff. And my rule with this is, when I can't get anything more into the box, something has to come out. And I went through this recently. I think it was when my DS-17 went off, when he was 17, when he went off to do a year of American high school. And we were looking for some stuff in here, and I found like all his maths books from like primary 1, primary 2, and I could see that, you know what, I could let those go. I didn't need to keep all of them. I've kept the very first one because he's really good at drawing, and he would doodle on all the books that he had, little knights fighting with swords. So anyway, I've kept those, and I've kept things like, you know, his swimming badges and things like that. But very few things go into it now. I've also got a file where their best drawings are, but it's just an A4 file. And again, when I put something into that file, I can go back and have a wee look and say, you know what, I can let go of some of the other stuff. So you don't need to keep your kids, you know, when my son leaves home, I don't think he's going to be taking this with him. It'll stay here. One box is all right, but you don't need to have like 50 boxes of stuff that your kids have made at, you know, at primary school and at kindergarten. Just keep the best things. So that's the same for my daughter, and she also seems to have another one here, and I don't know why that, now I'm thinking, why haven't I gone through this before? And this is, no, actually it's my son's and my daughter's cards from when they were born. Okay, so I'm going to put those into a nicer box and keep them. But again, I don't want to go through this with you on camera because that's private stuff. But that will go into maybe one of the boxes that I freed up from the top. Okay, so that's that one. And then, hold on, let me just move this out the way, just so I get a feeling I've accomplished something. Ta-da! Space! Look at this. And I can see I need to have a really good vacuum down below the space because it's pretty dusty. But look at that, I've just done how many sessions? Is it, I started, was it Monday or Tuesday? And I've just been going through one box at a time and sitting in the evening and going through some stuff, so that's good. Oh, there's something that's fallen down the back. Don't worry, there's no I hope there ain't no spiders. This is something that's fallen out of the maps box. Let me see, where are we? We are in, we're in Spain, Palafrugell, where we went for my dad's, my dad died a few years ago, but when my dad turned 80, we all met up and went to a holiday in Palafrugell, which was very nice. But I don't need to have this map to remember my dad. I've got photos and things, so this map can actually go in the paper recycling. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop it there because, as I said, we're going to be taking down this wall so that men can get in. But the next session that I'm going to do, I'll come back and do the next set of shelves here because we don't strictly have to move this one, but now that I've got started with the other one, it's always very therapeutic to go through the stuff. And I, like, you know, today I found things that I can use upstairs in my bedroom, so I can get some more decluttering done there. So we're going around in circles. Anyway, I need to go wash my hands because we're out for dinner while the kids are partying here. And anyway, I shall see you very soon. So, and remember, once you've done your 15 minutes, give yourself a pat on the back once you've washed your hands if it's dusty, like here. And just don't worry too much about having to spend, you know, or thinking that you have to spend hours in the same area. Do 15 minutes maybe on one shelf and then focus your attention on a different area. Take a break and then you can come back and do more of the first thing, because otherwise we tend to get too kind of stuck into it and we get a bit dejected. And the other thing is, if you're not working along with me, you know, when I'm doing this here, you're doing the same thing. get some really good music going. You know, get all the lights on. It's very dark here, but just keep yourself motivated. Anyway, time for me to put these things away. And I won't even bother doing a hoover because we're going to be bringing that wall down tomorrow. Anyway, Diane in Denmark, live long and prosper. May the hooga be with you. Keep on with your decluttering. It really does all add up. Just put one foot in front of the other, one item going in the decluttering pile, and we will get there. Okay, bye for now.